Hello scholars, welcome back. Today is day 2 of our journey cycle in Tuckett's Travels. Let's go ahead and get started. The grammar that we're focusing on in this lesson are the verbs be and have. The forms of be are listed right here. They are be, am, is, are, was, were, been, and being. To identify the correct form of be, I ask myself these thinking questions while I'm reading. What tense is the verb, and how many are in the subject? Let's look at this example. We are studying deserts. What is the subject in this sentence? Who is this sentence about? If you said we, you are correct. Now I need to think to myself, is we singular or plural? I know that we is plural because it means more than one. So my form of be needs to also match my subject, so it needs to be plural. I know that studying is in the present tense, so I also need my form of be to be in the present tense. I see that I have are as my form of be. We are studying deserts. I know that that is in the present tense, so that is the correct form of be. Now it's your turn to go ahead and try. Please look at the 3 examples that I have here on the right. I want you to read these sentences either to yourself or your teacher will read them aloud for you, and you need to identify the correct form of be and have to complete these sentences. Go ahead and pause the video, and when you are done, come on back. The vocabulary strategy for this lesson is shades of meaning. We know that we can use context clues and synonyms to help us figure out what words mean and their precise meaning. Let's look at this example from the text. Billy began to weave. Then Francis picked him up and carried him, piggyback, mile after mile. How can we use the cause and effect relationship in this passage to determine the precise meaning of weave? So I want you to pause the video here, and I want you to look for context clues in these sentences that can help you figure out the precise meaning of the word weave. Go ahead and pause the video, and when you think you have your answer, come on back and we'll talk about it together. All right, so the context clues that I found were picked him up, carried him, piggyback. So those are telling me that Billy was not able to walk on his own, or he was not able to walk in a straight line. He was not able to do it by himself, so Francis had to pick him up and carry him. So that must mean that weave means to be a little wobbly on your feet or not able to walk on your own. That is how we can use context to figure out the words in our text that have different shades of meaning. Awesome job. Let's keep going. I want you to try these examples by yourself. Go ahead and read these sentences and try and use the context in the sentence to help you figure out the meaning of the underlined words. When you're ready, come on back and you can use the answers, and you can view the answers. Let's go over our last 5 vocabulary words for this lesson. Please listen as I read the words and their definitions. Vain, something that has no chance of success. Mirages, optical illusions of things that look real but really aren't there. Shuffled, walked without lifting your feet high, letting them drag. Salvation, a thing that saves a person. Stunted, too short, not properly developed. The target strategy that we're focusing on today is to visualize while we are reading. Everyone, please open your textbooks to page 632. I'll give you a minute to get there. All right, so on the bottom of page 632, you can see our target strategy. Go ahead and read that paragraph to yourself. Awesome. So when we visualize, that means that we're using the words that the author chooses to paint a picture in our mind. When we read a story, we should use the details in the text to help us form vivid pictures of the characters, the settings, and the events. Visualizing as you read will help you gain a better understanding of the story's events. So while we're reading today, I really want you to think about the vivid words that the author chooses to put in there that helps you make a picture or a movie in your mind while you are reading. Let's continue our first read. Everybody please turn to page 640. I'll give you a minute to get there. All right. So we are on page 640. Just like last time, I'm going to read the first 2 pages for us, and then either you or your teacher are going to continue the read, and you're going to finish the story today. Let's go ahead and get started. Lottie saw it first. "There," she said. "See the spot?" Francis was near dead with exhaustion. He had hardly slept at all for the 2 nights before and had been used roughly by the Comancheros in the bargain. He was close to the breaking point as he said, "What spot?" "There. No, more to the right, on the horizon. It's trees, I'm sure of it, a stand of trees." They had seen many mirages, images of trees and water that were not there. But Francis looked where she was pointing and saw it instantly. He stopped and set Billy down. The boy was asleep, and he collapsed in a heap, still sleeping. "You're right. Trees, and trees mean water." He turned and studied the horizon. He hadn't been able to look up when he was carrying Billy, and he was shocked now to see a plume of dust off to the west and south. It was at least 15 miles away, against some hills in the distance. It was so far away that it seemed tiny, but Francis knew it was probably caused by riders. Many riders. So now we're on page 641. Lottie saw him staring. Could it be buffalo? She watched the dust. A small herd? Not here, Francis thought. Not here in this dust and heat with no grass and no water. Buffalo wouldn't be that stupid. Sure, it's buffalo. You're lying, she sighed. I can tell when you're lying to me, Francis Tuckett. It's them, isn't it? Francis said nothing, but his mind was racing. So the riders were heading back eastward. But why would they be coming back so soon? Had they caught Grimes already? If so, they'd be looking for the children. Or had they given up the chase or just seen Grimes and found that he was all alone and turned back, still looking for the children? They might miss the tracks. He knew this was a vain hope. There hadn't been a breath of wind to blow the dust over the brush marks he'd left, and undoubtedly they had men who were good trackers, men who were alive because they could track mice over rocks. So the Comancheros would find them, and then... All right, scholars, I want you to continue to read by yourself. You are going to finish this story today, which means that you are reading up until page 649. After you've completed your read, you are going to answer day 2 independent questions, either in your reading notebook or on a Google document that you can submit to your Google Classroom. Make sure that you answer all of the questions in complete sentences and cite text evidence in your responses. If you finish before time is up, you are going to complete Reader's Notebook page 307 and Close Reader pages 90 and 91. Excellent job today, guys. I'll see you again for day 3. Bye.